like the experimental filmmaking should be available, should be more kind of cherished in our community, because this is such a beautiful way to tell stories. It is such a unique way of packaging your emotions and feelings into something that is not conventionally as digestible as other films.
Welcome back to TALNT Cast, everyone. I'm Fatima, and this is yet another episode of the DCP Award for Base Creators series. And today we're here with Lisa and Eva to talk about the Fragmentation. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Eva.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, ladies, for joining us all the way from Amsterdam. Is that right?
Yes, we are here currently.
Awesome. Welcome. I'm loving how international this award was. We have people from everywhere, and it's so exciting. We get to see so many different perspectives and things. And I'm excited to start chatting about the Fragmentation, which is number 2 in a trilogy that you guys are working on.
Yes.
And the series kind of started very early on. You guys are still in university, your third years, and this started exactly when during your undergrad?
Yeah, so it was in our second year of study. Our study is 3 years in total. And it all started when we just sat next to each other in experimental women's class, cinema class. And then during the breaks, during the talks, we started, in the classes, we started learning more about women filmmakers in the 60s and 70s in like mainly US. And learning about their practices, learning about how revolutionary it was, what they were doing at the moment. And then Eva casually mentioned to me that she writes on the tram, and I asked her if she could send me some, after which I read it, and I realized that it was absolutely needed to be made into a film. So I asked her for permission, she gave me her permission, and that's kind of where it all started. Yeah. So now we're here. We already shot the motion that was like this year, and we're currently in the pre-production for the next one, the Fragmentation.
Very interested in how you guys decided to structurally kind of make this into a 3-part. It's a very poetic, very kind of, you called it experimental approach to cinema, and I see the elements from the 60s and the 70s. It almost made me think of silent movies as well. Some quick movements in the edits. How did you make these kind of cinematic decisions based off of Eva's writing?
So maybe we should begin by saying what inspired Eva's writing.
Okay, so basically, well, you know, like when I write, it's really like about my internal experience. Mm-hmm. So I never really thought that my monologue would be made into anything other than just like sit on my laptop. So it was just like for myself, but it was like I was really inspired by Jean Dielman, by Chantal Ackerman, and kind of like the trope of like the housewife and feeling stuck in life. And it was like, I'm not a housewife, but it is like emotions I've dealt with myself as well. And then when I communicated that to Lisa and like let her read it, Lisa could like conjure these visuals that like I would have never been able to thought of, but when she said it, I knew like it could have never been anything else than that. So in that way, we artistically like aligned almost immediately.
Yeah, it was a perfect match, I would say. Like, if we were to refer like it shot by shot, there's so much inspiration that comes from those women that we learned about in our class. So, for instance, one of the major inspiration was Rose Lauder, who worked a lot with florals, with botanical pieces. So she definitely inspired kind of like natural elements in our film, but also she inspired us to reuse the footage. So that's why we do repeat it a lot as we shot it on film, and we try to incorporate as much as possible and kind of like save as much as possible the footage. Another inspiration was Barbara Hammer, Also was vegetal themes and natural elements, but also perhaps the structure of her shots, which we incorporated later, kind of like non-linear narration, but also in a way that there is a certain progression through the film. And last but not least, of course,
Maya
Darren,
was, like,
yes.
I think like one of the biggest inspirations.
Definitely one of the
The
biggest ones, yeah.
dreamscape and just like the very emotional way of storytelling.
Yeah, her films, we studied them in class, and then we started. She was actually the one who pushed us to do something together, because we read a little bit about her background story, and we found out that she made her first film was $400. And then I came to Ava and I was like, we can get like 400 euros and make a film. Now, she didn't make it in 2025.
She made it in the 40s.
Yes, that was a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
But we did figure it out.
Yeah.
But inspiration came from there, let's just say so.
As far as like, being in Amsterdam and the university space, are connections often made like this? I mean, we're just like, okay, I'm kind of working on this project. Oh, can I read it? And then you just find this synergy, or is it kind of unique to you guys that it's like this just happened for us, but it's really not that common?
Well, the connection that we had is definitely unique to us.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have found it with anyone on the same spiritual and creative level like we did. But I would say, because our study is so inherently creative, people naturally tend to be more extroverted and kind of like lean towards each other. During the breaks, we're always discussing our projects. Our teachers, our TAs are super helpful, so we do get like a lot of reviews on the stuff that we write. And we do have like this collective spirit in Amsterdam, where the creatives and like especially those who are at the beginning stages of their careers try to connect as much as possible, help each other out, be there and just show up, which I think in that way we're very lucky to be here and be surrounded by people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
How did you guys find DCP, and what made you decide to apply and join us?
Well,
You found it.
yeah, I found it through my friend, who I think won an award with DCP as well. And then as I was doing a lot of research into different funding schemes, community schemes for filmmakers, because I do want to like take us more international, although I love my local community, but I do think like filmmaking is a very international thing. So yeah, we just scrolled through DCP Instagram, then the web page, and at some point we saw like some people that we knew that were already on there. So then we just went to the forest and shot a bunch of pictures and created
with the actresses of the motion.
the presentation out of it.
What elements of nature, including like specifically the 4 elements, right? We have earth, water, fire, and air. We have vegetables, you mentioned as well. What are these different elements of nature, and why did you decide to include them in the film?
Okay.
You know more about this.
So like we said, all of our films, so we have 3 in total, each one of them has a theme. For the first one, it's water, because so each scene theme resembles a multitude of a woman. So in the first one, we begin our storytelling with the element of water, which is very fluid, which is very calming, tranquil, but can also be destructive in a lot of ways, which I think is something like how we see a modern woman, like that there is not just like one aspect to a certain feature, but it is very she's very multifaceted as our first characters in the film. Then we take our story to the forest, where our theme is actually earth and mud. So all of those kind of like uncomfortable, sometimes dirty elements, but they're still part of like the vegetal world, the outside world, and they represent the transformation of the characters, the ugly parts of it, the uncomfortable parts of it, the nasty parts of it, but the inevitable parts that are gonna occur once you try to break free of the cycle from the first film. And eventually you end up in the third and last film, which is kind of like this spiritual conclusion, maybe even spiritual death. We're not entirely sure
Liberation
yet.
also.
Liberation, resolution for our
Yeah.
characters that they genuinely deserve. And there we conclude our story with two elements, actually, fire and sand, which will also be reflected in the visual storytelling.
You know, just since we're kind of talking about inspiration, I mean, this is kind of like a separate topic, but I was curious about the inspiration to shoot it on 16 millimeter, to use that format, which it's awesome. I love the look. I love the feel of it. You know, just thinking about like me personally, you know, my inspirational film growing up was Clerks by Kevin Smith, and it was shot on 16 millimeter film, and that kind of like got me off and going and inspired to make films and make movies. So I'm just curious, what was your inspiration behind actually choosing the 16 millimeter format?
Well, we absolutely knew that we had to do this. One of the reasons, of course, the inspiration by those incredible women who at the time also shot on 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter. But in the end of the day, we just knew that this is not a digital story. And we then found a friend who owned a very old Soviet camera, which we then utilized in our film. But also because we did want to practice like the sustainability as much as it's possible, of course. Film,
was it hard to work with? I'm curious. I mean, just like the film
God.
itself.
Yes.
Was it? I mean, I imagine
So
because I mean,
scary.
we live in the digital age, and everybody's used to you know shooting on their SD cards or whatever, you know, in 4K, and it's just like, but using actual 16 millimeter film, that's pretty old school. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And it shows, I mean, it pays off because it's so beautiful. And there's almost a layer of mysticism to it as well. Like there's a faint glow surrounding the characters, and in the background where the light hits, it almost looks magical. And I think you guys were spot on with the decision. Technically, it really does reflect what you guys are trying to do morally and thematically, right? Great job.
Yes, 100%. And I think we got to the final result that we wanted, that we envisioned from the beginning, also because we were inspired by that. But the process itself was way more complex than we expected. We were very lucky to have people on our team who were curious to learn and very quick with solving the issues. But we didn't have like professional equipment for everything. For example, we used like trash bags and where we changed the film. So our DOP, like half of the time, he was just like in the trash bag trying to change those. At some point,
Like reloaded so many times as well. You gotta stop, reload, stop, reload.
the sound was very loud but so beautiful, really addictive.
Yeah.
And we did have some issues with our camera, like it broke at some point, but then it decided to give it one last shot, and we were able to repair it and keep going. But yeah.
And also the moment you sent the film out to get it developed, and you just like, you shot your baby, all this work, and you just send it away.
Actually, we have it here. Can I show it?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Also, that is.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
It's bigger than my head, but this is our baby. It's from the lab in The Hague. And this is everything that we have. This is everything that we made. And it's very nice that it's so tangible. Like we can literally touch it.
how do you see this kind of marriage between the technology that we have at DCP with a film like this? What made you decide that, no, this is a good place for this film to live in?
Well, we see it as a very fruitful marriage, and we definitely support it all the way. We do not reject the digital format in its essence overall. We actually, in fact, had yesterday a premiere of another film which was fully shot digitally, and we are planning to shoot more digitally as it's just more available for us, also in our positions as students.
Affordable.
Exactly. But we do think that there is a certain beauty in this medium of filmmaking, and it is our testament to everyone who came before us, to everyone who allowed us to be here today, to be studying that, to be shooting that, and to just be able to gather money through crowdfunding, go to the random locations, go to the forest and shoot a film on film.
And you guys have also super young, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but they have founded a production company called Dames Productions.
saw that.
I mean,
Off and running.
Yes.
I wish I had your ambition when I was your age. Yeah.
Okay, then we're going in the right direction then.
You are.
Definitely, yeah.
Keep going.
And with the right attitude, I would say. I mean, honestly. But tell us a little bit about how that started.
Yeah, for sure. So it all started with the motion, hence the motion Dames, and then Dames just because it's two of us who are in charge, kind of.
Yeah, and Amsterdam.
Yeah,
Dames. It's kind of a wordplay.
Yeah,
I love that.
but also it is more like as a collective at this point. However, we are looking to expand it to be able to produce our own movies, just because we love this independence that we're having and the ability to kind of set our own path and work with the multitude of projects. So yeah, it was just a logical decision for us, and we do make our own films. However, we also act as producers for films of people that we know, or those who want to make film but don't know where to start.
I love that. And I think this is exactly where the Web3 aspect that DCP kind of opens the door to filmmakers for really has a place here. I mean, from having stills from the film that we can put up in marketplaces, transform them into NFTs. There are different ways that you can not only retain your own ownership and make sure that the art is still yours and the credit is yours, but also kind of expand on that community that you have and have people participate almost in different ways, and not just as a spectator, but and not exactly sure how, but they could have a potential role because of the technology that this on-chain world offers, right? I think, Matt, I don't know if you want to jump in and give a couple of thoughts about how this can kind of merge a little bit more, and what opportunities this on-chain technology can offer filmmakers like Lisa and Eva.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do think that, especially once Decentralized Pictures rolls out DCP Plus, which watch for that. It's definitely happening in 2026. So it's going to be an exciting time for independent filmmakers like you to have a not only another streaming option, but we truly believe it will be the streamer of choice for independent filmmakers. Just by bringing, more content on chain and some of the, really revenue sharing opportunities that are going to exist. Not only are we going to try to provide the best revenue share that's out there for creators, making sure that for all the VOD options, so video on demand, based on the revenue that's received, that a very, very high percentage goes back to where it should go back to, and that's the creators. Then also dynamic payouts. We're essentially using smart contract technology where payouts can be, processed dynamically and very quickly to the creators, versus having to wait weeks, sometimes months for payouts to occur. And then also, ownership with IP protections, things like that, will be very seamless and very transparent for the creators as well. So this technology, I think, is a wonderful complement to independent filmmakers and other artists, even outside of filmmaking, but there's really a lot of relevancy for and progress that could be made, I think, in this space for indie filmmakers going forward. So we're looking forward to that. It's already here, but I feel like we've just scratched the surface, and we're really going to get deeper into it in 2026.
Definitely the future, and to be able to kind of put it on the platform where more people can access it, because festivals, they do tend to be quite restrictive. They're limited to certain public, to certain demographic even sometimes, and as this experimental filmmaking is all about resistance, it's all about innovation as well still. It's all about experimenting and being welcoming to everyone in the community. It doesn't have any limits to it, just like our film. It is for everyone. It is just our perspective, and we are very thankful for everyone who approaches it with their own understanding. But like the experimental filmmaking should be available, should be more kind of cherished in our community, because this is such a beautiful way to tell stories. It is such a unique way of packaging your emotions and feelings into something that is not conventionally as digestible as other films. And to be able to do this is a blessing, and then to be able to do it for other people, with other people, that is why we make films.
Yeah.
So it all comes full circle, we believe.
Yeah, like what you said, like it's really about resistance as well, and taking this like non-dogmatic approach, which is really, really important for us. Also in our collective, like we really take a non-hierarchical approach as well.
Yes.
So it's kind of our counter against like dominant Hollywood culture maybe, and kind of what's going on like with all its good and bad stuff, you know.
As a woman, as a young woman coming into this industry, coming in, you know, with a what's the expression? I forget it, but you're coming in strong into this industry. What are things that you have learned early on that you think are you're kind of they're kind of shaping you as a filmmaker that's entering this industry now?
It's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd say like surround yourself with the right people. Like that's something we really learned also through other projects we did. It's like so important to have like a really nice energy on set, and to really
100%.
listen to each other. So for us, we were really lucky we found that so early as well, and also for other people in our team who we continue to work with.
From costume to camera to actresses, everyone contributes in different ways, and we have this approach when we make a film. So what we did with the motion, we not only like hire people, but we also do a very extensive like kind of work with them, where we have those like movie nights where we show our inspiration. We try to have some like team building activities, I guess you call it, but in a way like connect. First, the goal is for everyone to become friends, to be there for each other, and then to understand why it's important to make this film, because if it's just for the sake of making it, it's really
gonna show. There was no
so as long as everyone can relate to those filmmakers, can understand where we're coming from, why it is important, and how they can help us, because they are one of the most important parts of it, and that I think helps a lot. But also for entering the industry, I think like it's very important that closed mouths don't get fed. So just reach out as much as possible, and also be mean, be a lot, be cringe, be irrelevant sometimes, but just do anything that would help you like step up in a way that is not hurting other people, of course, but something like getting out of this zone where we as young women in the industry are put into. Just speak up and be loud as hell.
Lisa, Eva, thank you so much for your time. It's been a true pleasure speaking with you, learning a little bit more about you. This is definitely not the last we'll see of you. So looking forward for more, and we'll be in touch for sure.
Yes, thank you so much for talking to us. It was such a pleasure. Really a beautiful way to spend our evening. Thank you, Fatima.
Thank you.
Congratulations.